Good evening, Sunday night, February 20th. It's about 9 p.m. Thank you for all of the responses and the viewings of the first video. Appreciate it. I would like more comments and questions if any were had, but I'm mostly interested in understanding and hearing some of your thoughts and questions if you have them. As you know, my screen name is AfroPrepper, so I figured that I might explain to you why I chose that name. First of all, it's because when I take these out, I have an afro. Secondly, prepping is, I think, the way that everyone should go, considering a couple facts that I've noticed going on. Experiencing firsthand, the very first one is just I've experienced cost hiking in food here in the Southwest. For example, sugar used to be roughly, I would say around $2.50, but now this gone up $1, and they've reduced the quantity by 1 pound. So before, for around $2.50, you could get 5 pounds of sugar, but now you get 4 pounds for either the same price or even $1 more. If that's not saying that there's shortages somewhere, what else? Also, celery used to be $1.99 for a bag of celery. Or excuse me, it used to be 89 cents. Now a bag of celery is $1.99. That's another $1.10 increase. Gray squash, it used to be 59 cents a pound. Now it's $1.89 a pound. Again, price is going up. Ranch dressing for one of the large containers of ranch dressing used to be $1.99. Now you can find it for $3.98. And these are general Walmart prices. Go ahead and do some cost slashing. Oscar Mayer hot dog used to be $1.25 for a package. Now it's well over $2. So keep going to Wally World and save some money while you're at it. Next, understand the Federal Reserve and basic economics of what's going on in our country, especially with Ben Bernanke and the quantitative easing that he's doing, as well as our dollar being devalued all globally. So I'm sure you've heard some of the things about dollar devaluation. Next, knowing if fuel prices go through the roof, that is going to have a direct effect on distribution, and that cost has to be passed on to somebody, and guess what? It's the consumer. So you can expect food to go up in that regard, following fuel prices going up and energy costs. And last but not least, food riots worldwide. I don't know what it is in our American psyche that thinks that we're America and it can't happen to us. Child, please, it can definitely happen to us because we're ignorant and we haven't prepared. So why not prepare yourself for the worst? What's the worst case scenario? Nothing happens. Okay, well, you got food. You take that out of the grocery budget. Spend it on a new TV if you want to. But you have something as opposed to not having anything. I also was talking to one of my friends, and he's asking me, he goes, why do you have food in the house? I'm like, well, when I was a kid, I used to go to my aunt's house, and she always had canned foods in the basement, and always kept something in case of an emergency or even for a rainy day situation. So it's not too uncommon. We've just gotten comfortable in our lives in the hustle and bustle of making things happen that we've kind of forgot. Excuse me, that's the phone. We've kind of forgot, having stores. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you think something's wrong with you. Also, again, like I said, I was talking to one of my friends. He asked me why you have foods. I was like, man, have you ever been hungry? And I'm not talking starving. I'm not talking, I'm down, I haven't eaten in 6-7 days. I'm talking like, you ever been hungry from just not eating breakfast? Don't you realize how much your attitude changes towards people until you satisfy that need to fuel your body? Imagine 1 million people who are gone starving. Imagine 1 million people who have children and can't feed their kids. The stores are going to clean out. There won't be anything for you. Ask people who experienced those blizzards how quickly the stores cleared out. Over the last few weeks in the Midwest and the East Coast. Hey, have something so you can avoid having to deal with others and their disparity. Also, I think personally that depending on the government to in a time of emergency is plain suicide. If you look at what happened in Katrina, my goodness, the Katrina timeline is amazing to me. If you go to www.thinkprogress.org, Katrina timeline, Katrina-timeline, I'll put the link up on when I do the video when I finish editing this. But if you look at the timeline of the request from the Louisiana government to our government, which is Department of Homeland Security, also the FEMA organization, they don't care about you. And that's all you'll come away with after reading the timeline. And then, why put yourself in a position for failure is all I'm saying. Okay. Next, if you look what happened with the earthquakes in Haiti. Haiti is 681 miles from Miami. 681 miles. And yeah, if you're walking, that's a long distance. But by plane, it's an hour and a half. There's no reason, if the government had our best interest in mind, that people should be down there starving. No reason. With all of our technology and America being a superpower, no reason whatsoever, but yet it still happened. So, moving on. What else? I got about five areas of preparedness that I think that you consider, and I'm just going to touch on one of them today. First, food preps. Number one, you need to eat, because if you're going to be active, if you're doing anything, you need to feed the machine, so to speak. Number two, defense. Guns, ammo. Basic rights here. You can read it in the Bill of Rights. If you don't believe in having a gun, hey, have a slingshot. Have a pellet gun. Have something that you can use to defend yourself. Buy yourself some time in which you can escape and potentially find help. But have something. Okay? Next, first aid. Hey, first aid happens. I mean, you could be making a sandwich and cut your hand. It's good to have first aid equipment in the house. Emergency preps. Have a bug out bag. If you need to hightail it out, have something that you can grab in one fell swoop that'll at least hold you for 30 days, even a week, 3 days, at its basic rudiment level. Next, have a network preparation, networking. Why not be with like-minded people? Hey, most people, I say, hey, if you want to go ahead and depend on everybody else to provide for you, I believe that's awful rude. A friend of mine, I asked him, I was like, man, if things really hit the fan, what would you do? He said, I will come running over to your house. I was like, that's awful rude of you. When I'm telling you, hey, at least bring something to the table. Don't come over here empty-handed. You know what I'm saying?